Thanks for joining. I'm going to just be speaking briefly about the UN Global Compact's new subsidiary policy. You can see here the link to it on the Global Compact website if you are interested in seeing the detail. I'm going to walk through the key points. To start, maybe a bit of background on the old subsidiary policy. It has always been the case that when a company joins UN Global Compact, all business units below the unit that has joined are considered to be members of the Global Compact. And the commitment to the 10 principles was intended to apply there. However, there were varying benefits for those subsidiary organizations. They were generally not entitled to engage directly with the global office. They were eligible to join local networks, but the policies around that were somewhat vague and inconsistent. And so the purpose of the new policy is to actually enhance the value proposition for subsidiaries that wish to engage with local networks. So let's move on to what's new. So firstly, a definition of subsidiary, pretty straightforward stuff. Company controlled by another company, in the sense that the parent can dominate decision-making processes in relation to financial and operating policies. So fair enough. The new policy then, companies joining the UN Global Compact commit to integrating the 10 principles into their strategies and operations and to help make progress towards the SDGs. The commitment applies not only to the headquarters, but also to all subsidiaries, local branches, and country offices. However, the benefits of participation do not automatically extend that far. Subsidiaries are encouraged to engage in the following ways. Firstly, a subsidiary can join individually, irrespective of what the parent company is doing. And so really this is just makes the fact that they're a subsidiary irrelevant. Any company can go ahead and join the UN Global Compact with a few notable exceptions. The CEO of the company makes the commitment to the Secretary General and off they go. So that's really not something we're going to spend a lot of time on today, because that's just sort of the norm. But the second point, a subsidiary of a company participating in the UN Global Compact can join through its parent company. And so this is the more interesting piece, where, for example, Nestle is a Swiss-based company and their headquarters has joined the UN Global Compact in Switzerland, and included in the global fee, the financial contribution they make through their membership there, they are members of the Swiss Global Compact network. But should Nestle UK wish to engage with the UK network, they don't need to join as a full-fledged company of themselves. They can join as a subsidiary through their parent company. So, as I said, the first point, joining individually, irrespective of the parent company commitment, is really straightforward. A subsidiary can just join the Global Compact, choose their own engagement tier, and engage as if they were an independent company. Joining through the parent company, if the parent company allows it, then they can join under the umbrella of the parent. They can choose to rely upon the parent company's CEO commitment letter and the parent company's communication on progress, or they can opt to submit their own. That's an option. In many instances, being able to rely upon the parent company communication on progress is considered desirable, just to have consistent comms and having it coming out from one office rather than from several. Subsidiaries joining this way will now be listed on the UN Global Compact website according to the engagement tier of the parent company, and they will enjoy their own access to the UNGC dashboard. Now, in order for this to happen though, the subsidiary company must now register through the Global Compact website and submit an application. But when doing so, they would tick the box that they have a parent company and indicate the parent company name so that that is captured. And then the subsidiary will be recognized as such. In order, again, for this to happen, the subsidiaries must join the local network in their country of operation, and any financial contribution that might be required by that local network would have to be paid. So I probably should have said this from the beginning, but I'm going to invite questions at any point. Perhaps you could, if you had a question, I see there's something in the chat already. If you would just type a question into the chat line, and then we can, I can address any points that that you might have. So I see that we do have a comment already, and so, well, first let me move on to this, finish the slides, and then we can perhaps speak more. So here you see the fee schedule for the Global Compact Network UK. It is split into, well, there are 4 columns because we've introduced now the engagement tiers for subsidiary members, which we didn't have in the past. So as a subsidiary company, you would look over to the bold text where the subsidiaries are. You would find your turnover, and for subsidiaries, we're interested in your UK turnover. For UK headquarters companies, they would find their fee based on their global turnover. So a UK subsidiary, first step is what engagement tier is your parent company at, participant or signatory. Then you would look to what your annual turnover was in the UK in US dollars, and then work across the table to find what the participation fee would be for you in the UK. Now, there are a few variations here to consider. As a UK network member, we have different value propositions for participant and signatory. For example, to join one of our local network working groups, there is a fee of £350 for signatories, but there are no fees for participants to engage in the working groups. For other activities where there is a supplemental charge, there will almost always be a significant discount for companies that are at the participant tier. So it's important to note that subsidiaries are locked in at the engagement tier of the parent company. And so if the parent is at a participant tier, then you would be obliged to participate at the participant tier at the local level, because you would have access to all of the participant benefits through the parent company at the global level. There just isn't any way for the Global Compact to make a distinction. Similarly, if your parent company is at the signatory tier, you would be obliged to join the local network at the signatory tier, even if you were participating in a number of working groups, and it might be advantageous for you to step up to participants. If that were the case, we would encourage you to have that conversation with the parent company. Okay. Why would you want to join the Global Compact Network UK? We've spoken to our members about this very question, and in fact, the feedback we get is that the members perceive that they get the vast majority of their value from the Global Compact through their engagement with the local network. And that's something that's consistent across the Global Compact. So here, our strategic plan, really 3 pillars for the UK network: inspiring business ambition to deliver the global goals, enabling practical action, and shaping a responsible business environment. And we have quite a significant program of activity that we engage in to deliver on that. 4 work streams: human rights, social sustainability and integrity, global goals, and climate action. And we do a bunch of other activities as well to support members with their communications on progress, and so forth. So we organize here in the UK more than 30 events per year. And so it's really not normally a problem for members to feel that they're getting value from their participation with us. Question, what is participant and signatory? So that's when the UN Global Compact introduced mandatory financial contributions at the beginning of 2018, they also introduced engagement tiers. And so now when a company joins a Global Compact, they must choose whether they will join at the participant tier or the signatory tier. And there are different benefits at the 2 levels. Basically, the signatory tier is the most basic. It includes membership in the headquarters local network in a geographic area, and they're eligible to join local networks in other countries. You are still in the communication on progress system. You can have access to the Global Compact endorser logo. You can attend Global Compact events. Most of the basic activities. At the participant tier, there are enhanced benefits. So the Global Compact introduced the Global Compact Academy, which is an online learning platform, which is only available to companies at the participant tier. There are significant discounts for participants on the major conferences that the Global Compact organizes. At the global level, they have global level working groups, and these are only open to companies engaging at the participant tier. And the newly launched SDG Action Manager is going to have an enhanced suite of benchmarking tools available for companies at the participant tier. So one way to look at it, I suppose, is the participant gives access to everything that the UN Global Compact has to offer, and the signatory is a more basic level of membership. And the differences do flow through to the local level, where, as I said earlier, we have some pricing benefits on a few things, the few things that we do offer where we charge an extra fee. Now, I had actually intended to just, for those of you that might be interested in engaging with Global Compact networks in other countries, I just thought I'd show you. This is the Global Compact landing page for the Global Compact head office. And if you click on that Engage Locally tab, it will show you a little bit about the local networks. And you can click on the regions, and then you can find the countries where there are active local networks. And if you click on the country, it will give you a bunch of information about what's happening there. So if you are interested in joining the network in Chile, you could reach out directly to the contact point at the Global Compact network there, and they could advise you as to what their fee schedule was for subsidiaries, and you can link on to their website if you are interested. Okay. That actually takes me to the end of the material that I had. So just quickly to sum up then, for those of you that are from a subsidiary company that is currently engaging with the UK network. First thing we need to do is register through the Global Compact website. And so this would be as if you were joining the Global Compact, but you won't need a letter of commitment if you indicate that you are a subsidiary, and you type in as you're filling it in, into the form. You put your parent company in there and it will flow through. Then we will get an email here in the UK, although we already have communications, and we will invoice you accordingly based on the parent company tier and your UK turnover. And really then that's all there is to it. But then you will be, you'll have new access to a number of features on the Global Compact website dashboard that you didn't have before. As a subsidiary, you would be able to make your own requests for Global Compact logos, for example. I see a question from Samuel, but I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. Is the parent company headquartered in France? Because if it is, and if it's paying its financial contribution there, then membership in the French network would be automatic. And I think it would just be a matter of reaching out and making that connection. Normally, for companies at the signatory tier with greater than $50 million annual turnover, they would be subject to making a mandatory financial contribution, and that would include membership in the local network of their home country.
Hello, Steve.
So that's all I have for now. I'm happy to stay on the line for a little bit longer if there are any further questions. So do feel free to type them in, or even unmute and just shout out. But otherwise, thank you for your attention. I hope this was of some value, and don't hesitate to contact me if you need any further information. Thanks very much.
Hello, Steve. Hello.
Hello, Samuel.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Apologies, my sound was turned off. I didn't.
No, that's fine. Yeah, the parent company is in France. So if you want to actually network in France, how do you go around it?
Let me just escape from this slideshow, and we'll just check a couple of things. So first step, perhaps, since we're just right here, if you click on the website, there's contact details for Anne-Sophie at the French network.
Yeah. Okay.
And then let me just go and confirm.
You know, I'm not really much. I'm just representing one of my colleagues who is not able to attend today. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm getting all the facts for her. I'm based in the UK and she's based in France.
Right.
Yeah.
So everything seems to be in order at the signatory tier in France. So my understanding would be this doesn't show turnover. So I don't know whether there's a fee being paid in France or not. But if there's a fee being paid, then the membership in the network, is my understanding, should be automatic.
Okay.
If there's not a fee being paid, perhaps because below the threshold, then there would absolutely be welcome to join the French network. And I think the participation fees in France are very reasonable.
Okay. So what actually needs to happen is the UK team can actually join the network using the French as a parent company.
That is correct. So at the moment, we already have the UK team in the network, although we haven't seen much, I'm not sure that there's been much engagement to date, but Mademoiselle Dessert has been paying the membership fee to be a member of the UK network. What's changed now, though, is that to continue as a subsidiary member of the network, now we need to register the UK subsidiary in the global website as a subsidiary of the French company.
Okay, so to what I understand from what you're saying, it looks as if they are two separate. Is that what you mean?
At the moment, the UK company is not registered in the Global Compact database.
Okay.
It wasn't necessary before. In the past, if a subsidiary operating in the UK said they wanted to join our network, then we would just say, we would just check that the parent company was participating, and then we would just say, you're welcome, come on in. And there was no need to inform the Global Compact head office of that relationship.
Okay.
But now that's changed. So now the subsidiary must register, and that's really, and then you can have the subsidiary company can also have its own. So this information that's on the screen, that's all in the public domain. And so the UK company would have its own public record as being a participant going forward.
Okay.
So it's, basically, it would be a case of going to the Join Now.
Yeah.
This application. And then going to the application form, and you type in name, just basic details. And then here, is your company a subsidiary or country office of a UN Global Compact participant or signatory? And then you would say yes. You type in the name, and it comes up.
Okay.
And then everything else just falls into place. There's no need to upload a letter because they will rely on the letter that the parent company has submitted already. Okay. So it just takes a couple of minutes to do that, and then you'll have your own record. Okay. Yeah, I will. Yeah, I will brief the team on that, and we will get that one sorted. Okay. Can you send me the slides? Yeah, will do. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, that's all that I've got. Thank you so much, Steve. You're welcome. Have a great day. All right. Yeah, you've got my details now, so anything you can just keep me up to date. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you. Yeah. Bye.
I've put in brackets after the batch code.
Yeah. We're solving 21, so.
Thank you then.
All right.